A language is a system of solutions to problems of communication. If we look at a language as represented by this gray circle, then at the center will be a relatively small core, comprised of the fundamental structures and patterns that make up the underlying fabric of the language itself. This core is the most essential part of a language. If the language learner is missing even a piece of this core, he or she will struggle to use the language effectively. The typical process for learning a language looks something like the following. One begins by learning some words and phrases, and core elements are introduced bit by bit along the way. The problem with this method is that it takes a long time before the student has covered the entire core. Students often lose heart and forget important elements along the way. Students furthermore continue to remain reliant on teachers and resources until the complete system of the language has been taught. The Linguisticator method prioritizes language learning by distilling a language to its core, and then beginning by tackling this foundational material in its entirety. This gives students entry to the language, allowing them to then begin learning from context and expanding their knowledge through more organic, immersive activities. This means students can take more learning into their own hands and advance rapidly through guided self-study. With the core of the language mastered, even if one does not understand all vocabulary, one will still understand how the different pieces fit together. One can have a limited vocabulary and come across as fluent if one has mastered the core. Conversely, one can have a large vocabulary and not be able to communicate effectively without the core. Whether one wants to speak only enough to get by, or whether one wants to be completely fluent, whether one wants to use the language for business, government, military, or simply day-to-day activities, the core will remain the same and will remain the most essential part of the language learning process.